Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Jonah, the 2nd chapter. Then prayed Jonah unto the Lord Yahweh out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. So put that on here. And thou heardest my voice. Okay. And basically, Jonah's here reflecting on, basically how he called out to the Lord in that situation that he was in. Keep in mind, he was cast into a tempestuous ocean, right? And so as he calls it his affliction, right? He says the Lord heard him, and out of the belly of hell, all right, which hell is in the Hebrew is Sheol, which is a grave. But here, it felt to him like that would be his graveyard, right? Because, usually you end up if you're swallowed by an animal, chances are you're not making it out of there. But anyway, it says here, cried I, and thou heardest my voice. For thou hadst cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. So as he was thrown in the water, right, eventually you start to sink, right? You start to go under with the waters completely covering you, right? Being submerged in there. All thy billows and thy waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again toward thy holy temple. All right, so in that situation, right, Jonah, sought the Lord and realizing that the Lord did that to him for him trying to flee from the instruction of the Lord, right? And so by looking again toward the holy temple, right, that symbolized him turning back to the Lord, basically to do what the Lord required of him. The waters compassed me about, even to the soul. The depths closed me round about. The weeds were wrapped about my head. And he's describing his experience here, right, as one would call it near-death experience, being in that water, in the ocean, being submerged, right, as it says, even to the soul, right, close to the point of death. I went down to the bottoms of the mountains. The earth with her bars was about me forever. And the bottoms of the mountains is just symbolizing, in his case, underwater, right, because mountains rest on land, and the bottom of it is submerged underwater, okay? And the earth with her bars was about me forever, meaning that pretty much there was no escape. There was no way out of his situation, save the Lord. Yet hast thou brought up my life from corruption, right? So the Lord delivered him from death. O Yahweh, my God. When my soul fainted within me, I remembered the Lord, right? So at the point as his life was slipping, out of his hands, he remembered the Lord. He prayed unto the Lord. He sought the Lord. And my prayer came in unto thee, into thine holy temple. Because keep in mind, right, like in this situation, even as servants of the Lord, sometimes you go through certain things, and depending on how severe and intense it is, you may get afraid, right? And you hope, right? And in that fear, you call upon the Lord, but you hope, okay, that the Lord would hear your prayer, okay, and deliver you, especially having tried to flee. It says here, verse 8, they that observe lying vanities forsake their own mercy, right? And observing lying vanities is going in the way of idolatry, right? And following after crooked paths. And that is forsaking your own mercy, which our mercy comes from the Lord, right? So when you go astray from the Lord, you forsake the mercy in which the Lord either has or will bestow upon you. But I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord Yahweh. Now, it doesn't mention exactly what it is that Jonah vowed, whether he was using this symbolically or whether he was referring to a vow he had actually made. But being a prophet of the Lord, you can imagine already having set up and being resolved in his life, in his mind, to serve the Lord, right? That means whatever it is the Lord requires of you as a servant of the Lord, you have to do that. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land. Now, we don't know exactly where this dry land was, but more than likely it probably took him to, throughout the water, probably closer to Assyria, okay, where he was supposed to be in the first place. Just an inference on there, but this also goes to show you that the Most High controls the animals. Okay, so wild animals, all those things, they're all controlled of the Lord, right? And that's why when you go into the book of Job, I believe it might be the 5th chapter, when it talks about being in league with the beasts of the field. The Lord, if you have found favor in the sight of the Lord, He controls that. Okay, so we don't have to worry about things happening randomly because the Lord is in control of it all. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the book of Jonah, the 2nd chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.